Located in the Netherlands, you'll find a city that's on most travelers' bucket lists. The country's capital city, Amsterdam, has a seedy reputation for prostitution, drugs, and good times. But if you've never been to Amsterdam, I can tell you that this side of Amsterdam is just a small part of the story. Visitors fall in love with Amsterdam's charm, pace of life, and livability. Personally, I haven't been to another place on Earth that's easier and more convenient to get around. Top that off with great restaurants, nightlife, and some of the world's best museums, and you can see why this is one of Europe's top tourism hubs. Hey everybody, I'm Wes Murgaard, and on today's video, I'm going to cover a ton of different things to do when visiting Amsterdam. Along the way, I'll also cover a number of useful tips I learned while exploring one of Europe's most important cultural hubs. Before we dig into fun things to do while visiting, there's a very important housekeeping item we need to cover first. If you only heed one bit of advice from this Amsterdam travel guide, it should be this. The streetcar and bicycle lanes are very well integrated throughout the city. This is great for getting around. However, if you aren't accustomed to exploring cities with these hazards, you need to keep your head on a swivel. Not only do you need to watch for cars when crossing intersections, but you need to be mindful of the cyclists and streetcars that sometimes have their own traffic patterns. Also note that the most cost-effective way to navigate Amsterdam is to buy a daily public transit pass. The pass includes unlimited access to the subway, streetcars, buses, and certain trains. Be mindful that certain regional train routes are not included with this card and will require an additional ticket. One of my favorite activities to do in Amsterdam is exploring Amsterdam by boat. A guided canal tour is a relaxing way to enjoy an afternoon while learning about the city's rich history. The tour we booked through GetYourGuide included beer, wine, and cocktails. If the weather is nice, I'd highly recommend the open air experience. I'd recommend booking your tour in advance just to be safe, but we didn't have any issues booking our guided canal tour one day in advance. Another great way to get around Amsterdam is by bicycle. Amsterdam is one of the most bike-friendly cities in the world. This presents a fun way to navigate the city for visitors, but it also means you're more likely to get steamrolled by a cyclist than an automobile. Keep in mind that Amsterdam is one of the most expensive cities in Europe that you can visit. In general, Holland has a high cost of living. Amsterdam, being a major metro area that is popular with tourists, only exacerbates this issue. That doesn't mean you should avoid Amsterdam as a traveler, but it means you'll need to be extra cognizant when budgeting for your trip. The robust public transportation system and density of Amsterdam means you shouldn't need to rent a car or break the bank on Uber rides during your stay. You can purchase passes in town that provide unlimited access to public transportation. Many travelers will opt to stay in the Centrum area of Amsterdam, which refers to the heart of downtown. This area is easily accessible by train from the airport. The Centrum area of Amsterdam will offer quick access to many of the cultural sites, canals, museums, and restaurant areas in the city. However, this is also the most expensive part of Amsterdam to stay, and space will be at a premium. If you're on any type of budget, I would recommend staying 10 to 15 minutes outside of the Centrum area and using a subway, bus, or bike to get in and out of the city. During my recent trip, we stayed at a place called Hotel Casa and really enjoyed our stay. From there, it was just a 5-minute walk to the closest subway station and a 10-minute ride into town. Comparable lodging in the Centrum area would have easily cost double what we paid to stay at Hotel Casa. The typical traveler should look to spend at least 3 full days in Amsterdam. The activities highlighted in today's video should be sufficient for filling out a busy 3-day itinerary. If you're really into museums or day tripping to nearby towns, you could easily spend 5 or more days exploring the area. And one of the must-see activities to do is visit the Anne Frank house. Stepping back in time and exploring the Anne Frank house was the most memorable experience from my time in Amsterdam. The experience is equal parts powerful and somber. As you walk through the building's narrow corridors, you'll learn how the Frank family navigated daily life while hiding from their Nazi occupiers. For the avoidance of doubt, photography is not allowed inside the house, so I can't really show you anything from that experience here. Now moving on to our next stop in Amsterdam, be sure to check out the Heineken Brewery experience. This is a hands-on way to learn about the legendary history of Heineken and its ties to the city of Amsterdam. Along the way, you'll explore the facilities once used to brew enormous quantities of Heineken beer. The brewery is no longer actively brewing beer, but instead has been transformed into a multi-story immersive museum. There are interactive exhibits throughout the facility, such as a 3D movie experience, games, a photo booth, and the ability to personalize your own bottle of Heineken, and more. At the end of the tour, you'll be given the opportunity to enjoy a couple of cold Heinekens at their bar. The next activity in today's video is to visit a brewery inside a windmill at De Guyer. Holland is synonymous with windmills, but you'll quickly realize that finding one within Amsterdam proper is easier said than done. That's where Brouwer Uittage Brewery comes into play. Located adjacent to De Goeyer, the brewery offers tours of their brewing facilities, a large number of craft beers on tap, and stunning views of De Goeyer from directly below. Brouwer Uittage was one of my favorite stops throughout Amsterdam. Be sure to check out their website and plan your visit around one of their brewery tours to learn about their beer and the history of De Goeyer. Next up, we have Amsterdam's most iconic activity, which is to explore the red light district, which is located directly southwest of Amsterdam Central. The experience one can have along Amsterdam's seediest street will vary widely for each traveler. For starters, prostitution is legal here, and it's quite obvious. As you wander the canals, you'll encounter numerous professionals offering a glimpse of the services they offer through the windows of their sidewalk boutiques. You'll have the opportunity to purchase drugs that are illicit in many countries, or watch a live sex show in one of the many historic theaters, if that tickles your fancy. To be clear, you don't have to actually engage in any of these activities to have a great time in the red light district. There are tons of traditional bars to enjoy, and the people watching here is world class. Next up, let's discuss Amsterdam's largest art collection at the Rijksmuseum. If you're only going to visit one museum during your trip to Amsterdam, this should be it. Not only is the Rijksmuseum the largest in Amsterdam, but it's generally revered as one of the top art museums in Europe, if not the world. The average traveler should plan on spending between 2 and 4 hours visiting the museum, where in reality one could spend an entire day here if taking in fine art is a personal passion. This place is huge. The Rijks is also a great place to eat, as the museum is complete with a Michelin star restaurant. If you're looking for something more casual, there's also a cafe, which is a great spot to grab lunch, a pastry, or a coffee. One more thing, be sure to book your tickets in advance to avoid lines and ensure your entrance into the museum. Once you're done at the Rijksmuseum, consider hopping over to the nearby Van Gogh Museum, which is home to the largest collection of Vincent van Gogh art. Visitors should expect to spend between 1 and 2 hours touring the museum, and like with the Rijks, it's never a bad idea to book your tickets in advance. If you're looking to be efficient and cut down on travel time between activities, I'd recommend hitting these two museums back to back, or saving one for a rainy day backup plan. The next thing to do during your stay in Amsterdam is to check out one of their infamous coffee shops. Now, if you're just looking for a cup of coffee, I'd recommend seeking out a cafe instead of something that has coffee shop in the name. The coffee shops you encounter in Amsterdam might sell coffee, but generally they specialize in cannabis and other psychedelic substances. There are an endless number of coffee shops to choose from, so if you check out the post on my website, I've linked to a specialized guide that can refer you to a more specific location. While not exclusive to the red light district, you will find a large number of them sprinkled throughout the area. After hitting one of Amsterdam's coffee shops, you might be in search of a snack, so be sure to check out a local dessert known as the stroopwafel. Stroopwafels are basically a giant Dutch Oreo formed by combining two thin waffle cookies with a thin layer of caramel filling set between them. No visit to Holland is complete without tasting one of their signature cookies, the stroopwafel. Try it dipped in chocolate, paired with a hot coffee, or on the side with ice cream. Next up, be sure to explore one of Amsterdam's most iconic buildings, which is Central Station. Central Station is Amsterdam's central exchange for all things public transportation. Central Station sits along the northern end of the red light district within the city's Centrum. If you're traveling into Amsterdam by bus or train, there's a good chance this will be your drop-off point. The building's exterior offers up impressive architecture, while in the interior you'll find access to the local metro, buses, regional trains, and the water ferry system. Central Station also offers high-speed train connections to many other major European cities. This is something to keep in mind if you're planning to venture on to other parts of the continent after Amsterdam. If you're looking for a way to enjoy a nice afternoon during your trip, consider relaxing in one of Amsterdam's many parks. While the streets of Centrum Amsterdam are jam-packed with buildings, you might be surprised at how much great park space the city boasts. Museumplein is a large green space and one of my favorites that neighbors the Rijksmuseum and Van Gogh Museum. This is a great place to relax like a local and people watch after spending some time in either cultural site. If exploring the city's green spaces interests you, check out the Amsterdam Travel Guide on my blog. That post links to a helpful guide which covers many of the town's most popular park spaces. Speaking of great ways to enjoy a beautiful Dutch afternoon, our next activity is to day trip to visit the windmills of Zaanse Schans. A quick 30-minute train or car ride from Amsterdam Central will lead you north to one of the best windmill viewing areas in the Netherlands. The area of Zaanse Schans teleports visitors to what life in the Dutch countryside was like during a simpler time. Here you'll find several windmills, restaurants, traditional Dutch architecture, and a number of family-oriented activities. The savvy traveler shouldn't have any issues reaching Zaanse Schans by train. But be mindful that the nearest train station drop-off will require 20 minutes or so of walking to reach the main entrance. If you're looking for a guided experience, tours frequent this area from Amsterdam and will take care of the logistics for you. It's free to explore Zaanse Schans once you arrive, but be sure to budget for a meal or souvenir shopping here at minimum. This is a family-oriented destination, so expect crowds during weekend afternoons when the weather is nice. If catching tulip season in Holland is on your bucket list, it's important to time your visit accordingly. I visited Amsterdam during the summer, so we missed out. But for reference, tulip season runs from the end of March to mid-May. Keukenhof is one of the best places to visit for tulip viewing, and I go into more detail on this topic on my blog, so check that out if you're interested. Our next activity on today's video is to take the free ferry from Amsterdam Central to NDSM. This free ferry is located directly behind Amsterdam Central Station along the water. Enjoy the open-air ride out to this once-abandoned shipping harbor, which has since seen a resurgence as a cultural and arts hub in recent years. If you're into electronic music, NDSM has a reputation for being one of Amsterdam's hottest spots to catch a concert. A simple Google search of Amsterdam NDSM concerts is going to be the best way to see what's going on in the area during your visit. There are a number of restaurants, street art exhibits, and even a hotel located within a giant crane that you can bungee jump off of here. You can also check out a list of current happenings around NDSM at the iamsterdam.com website. Next up, shop for vintage Dutch styles at Waterlooplein, the oldest flea market in Amsterdam. The market is located near the Rembrandt House Museum within Amsterdam's Centrum district, which also means that these activities pair very well together due to their proximity. The flea market operates 6 days a week from the morning till early evening. Whether you're a thrifting enthusiast or just looking to kill some time, this open-air market is a great place to spend an afternoon. Just be sure to check out their current operating hours on their website before visiting. If photography is your cup of tea, then be sure to check out the 7 bridges at Rijgulersgracht. This is an area you're likely to pass on a canal tour through the city. The 7 bridges at Rijgulersgracht is a popular stop amongst photographers since there's an opportunity to stare through the arch of the nearest bridge while capturing 6 others in the photo. I didn't go out of my way here to get the perfect photograph, but I was able to capture 6 of them in frame during a canal tour that we took. My next tip on today's video is to check out a rooftop bar during your Amsterdam visit. I mean, who doesn't love a good rooftop bar? This is a great way to soak up Amsterdam's relaxing vibes during their mild summers. Fortunately for us, Hotel Casa, where we stayed during our trip, had a hotel bar of its own which we were able to enjoy. But there are tons of other venues worth checking out across the city. One important thing to know when visiting Holland is that public restrooms are typically paid to enter. While this may seem baffling to Americans who have never left the States, there's a nice trade-off to this. Holland's restrooms are generally staffed, which means they're among the cleanest public facilities you'll come across in your travels. You get what you pay for. Another important tip is that while Dutch is the official language of Holland, you'll find that English is widely spoken throughout the country, especially in Amsterdam. Tourism in Europe is a big industry and not just for Americans on holiday. English is the common denominator for travelers within the EU, so you'll find it widely spoken in most large cities throughout Europe. And last but not least, Amsterdam is a very safe city to visit. It's not only one of the safest major cities in Europe, but perhaps the world. During our visit, we never felt unsafe or had any unwelcome experiences. Hopefully you found this Amsterdam travel guide helpful. Feel free to reach out on social media or drop a comment below if you have any specific questions that were not answered on today's video. And that's it. That's all that I've got. Don't forget to check out the Amsterdam travel guide available on my blog. There's a link to that post and other helpful trip planning content in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my other channel content while you're at it as well. Once again, I'm Wes Murgaard, and thanks for watching.